Well, good night, girls. Sweet dreams. I'll see you in the morning. Hey, friends. One of the most controversial and hottest topics right now among chicken owners is whether you should use a coop light. You probably heard that coop lights are supposed to extend the season and make your chickens lay even in the shorter days of the winter. Is it worthwhile? Are they safe? Well, let's talk about those topics right now. The days are getting shorter. It's September now, and it's about a half hour before sunset, and it's only about 7 o'clock. The days will continue to get shorter, and we'll be into the winter days where it'll be 5 o'clock and it'll be almost dark. Now, experts say that chickens, laying hens, to be their most productive, need about 14 hours a day of sunlight. And of course, in the winter, if you do the math, really you're looking at about 10 hours before it gets dark. So sunset to sunrise to sunset is about 10 hours instead. So you're about 4 hours short. Some of you who are chicken owners and have done this in the past may have found that your chickens don't lay really great in the winter. And if you're new to this, I have never experienced a winter where my chickens have laid less than in the summer. They tend to be pretty consistent. And I actually think one of the reasons for that is because I have a coop light. In both of my coops, I have one coop that is a hardwired electrical, and then I have another one that's a solar lamp. And I can extend a couple extra hours each day to be able to help my chickens along. Of course, there are many factors that really attribute to the health and the laying production of your chickens. They need to have a safe space. They need to have fresh quality food and water. They need to have a great place to lay that they feel comfortable and safe in. But I do think that there is one factor that's helped me on my farm to be able to get through those winter months. If I have an incandescent bulb in my coop for just an extra hour or two every day and extend maybe a 10-hour day into a 12-hour day, I found that my chickens, apart from their molting time, do not lay any less eggs in the winter than in the summer. About two out of every 3 days, my chickens are laying their eggs, and it continues through the winter. Of course, on very, very cold parts of the winter, most chickens will lay a little less. And in the summer, as it's a little warmer and hotter, they'll also lay a little less. But in those times when the temperature is really not that bad or not that extreme, I haven't found any difference just by using coop lights. Let's talk about that a little bit. In our garden coop, we have a solar assembly. So if you are a chicken owner and you don't have hardwired electric to the place where your coop is, that's really not a reason to panic. You can still actually do something about it. And this is a really great assembly. It's a solar panel, and then it's wired, and it goes into the coop, and it has a little lamp in there and a nice little remote here that I can turn it on and off. I also can set it for a timer. So, for example, if I want 2 extra hours of sunlight, quote unquote sunlight, and I can do that at 6 o'clock and set it for 3 hours or whatever, and have a 9 o'clock shutoff time where my birds then go into the dark. It's really a nice way to do this in here, and it's very, very bright. I can show you how bright that actually gets. It lights up the coop really well. Another thing that's really nice about this light is that it turns on automatically if I wanted to. And so because of that, it actually keeps the chickens safe. I have to come in and manually close their door at night, their little chicken door. And sometimes I'm away in the evening or whatever, and I'll come back after dark. If I know that the light is going to be on, it'll scare away predators or whatever that might otherwise want to get in the coop. And so it keeps them safe before I can close that chicken door. So this is our other coop, and it's hardwired for electric. We ran electric to our barn in order to be able to run some power equipment and different things like that. And we decided to just run it all the way through to the other side of the barn into the chicken coop. It runs just on regular electric. It's a 60-watt bulb. Sometimes I put a 40-watt bulb in there, just enough to be able to extend that day. Now, one nice thing about this bulb here is that I can actually tell in the winter that it raises the temperature of the coop just ever so slightly, 1 degree or something like that, and it makes it a little more comfortable for the chickens out in the extreme temperatures. We have our bulb placed in a safe spot that has open air around it to make sure that it doesn't touch anything or cause a fire. You'll obviously want to make sure to have a professional do this, or know that you feel comfortable running electric yourself if you're going to do this. The birds seem to really enjoy it.
Good night, girls.
Obviously, you can tell by my conversation here with you so far that I'm a proponent of having some chicken lights, some coop lights. But the argument on the other side is kind of compelling, and I wanted to share that because some of you might share this, and we need to obviously discuss it and talk about it. So the argument that I've heard before regarding the no coop lights is the fact that chickens in nature wouldn't have any extra artificial light, and therefore their bodies get used to the seasons and the cycles and all of that. And I totally understand that. I'm very much a naturalist on this farm. I like to do things as naturally as possible. But let me play devil's advocate for a second and consider this. Because we're in a domesticated setting, these birds are not in nature. It is not a natural setting for them. They're being domesticated for a purpose, and that purpose is for my birds to lay eggs. And so, as much production as I can get out of them without hurting the chickens themselves is my goal. And so, I've done some research, and of course, I have experienced myself, and I haven't found that a slight increase in and a standardization of the days, the artificial days that I give my chickens, has hurt them, shortened their lifespan, caused them to have irregular cycles, stressed them so that their eggs are odd or don't come out, or different things like that, because that's the kind of thing you would see if the chickens were stressed by this. Now, I will say this on the other side of things. I agree that we should not go 24/7 light. All night light for adult chickens is not a good thing. And a lot of commercial settings I've seen where they have the lights on all of the time, heavy, harsh LED lights. And those circumstances and those environments are not good for chickens. Shortens their life, and obviously those chickens are disposed of very quickly. With my chickens, I want to make sure that I honor their life and take care of them and steward them, but also, as much as possible, be able to steward the production of their eggs. And so, this middle ground is where I fall. I don't do 24/7 light, obviously, not an all night light, but a couple hours a day in order to get the days to about 14 hours is what I would recommend doing. Again, you follow your own heart on that. So as the sun sets on our day and my chicken light just went on for the evening, what does it look like to add a little extra time to the chicken's daylight? Well, in the summer, because the days are long, they're already about 14 hours long, I don't do anything in midsummer to add extra light. I let the chickens roost on their own, and when it becomes dark, it's dark. And that really is the easiest time of the season. But as the season goes on and you get into the fall and the winter, I make sure that I just count from sunset and make sure that my daylight is about 12 to 14 hours long. So, for example, at the very shortest season of the year, in like mid-December, late December, I would be turning my chicken coop lights on at about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, just about the time it starts getting dark here in North Carolina. And I would turn the lights off or have them set to be turned off at about 9 o'clock that evening. So that would give us about 14 hours of daylight for that day as well. Like I said at the beginning of our discussion, this is a really controversial topic, and people have really strong opinions about this. I would love to hear your experience in the comments below, your opinions or research that you've done. Convince me if you think that something else should be done on our farm, or if you've done something differently on your farm that has worked great for you. I'm sure that our other viewers who don't know anything about this or are just learning themselves would love to know. I love the discussion. I love our community. Have a great evening.